Deb and Amos, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. I greatly appreciate your time. I know you guys are very busy, which is a great thing. But for those who haven't had the pleasure of meeting you at an expo or a training, could you kind of share with everyone your names, your company name, and where you guys are located?
I'm Amos Fox, and our company name is Fox Plumbing Services Incorporated. We are out of Sarasota, Florida.
Very good.
And
And who's this young lady next to you?
I'm Deb Barkley.
Deb Barkley. Very good. And she's also, and Deb, your role in the company is?
I'm the office manager.
And also related to that guy next to you, right?
I am. He's my father.
Very good. Very good. And actually, that's a big...
we pretty much have a small family business, although we do hire outside the family, but basically a family business. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead or not, but I started...
No, that's all right.
In 94, and then a couple years ago, I semi-retired, and my son purchased the business, so he's the owner of the business now, and so we're still working as a team.
That's great. That's great. So you still have your hands in it. I mean, it's your baby. It's like one of your children, right? You've been with it, you said, since 1994. You're just ushering the next generation to let them take it another step forward.
That is correct. And it's my pleasure to do so. And I'm also training my grandson in the business.
Oh, that's incredible.
Verify. Semi-retired means he still works 40 hours a week. He just doesn't have to do all the other stuff.
Well, you know, for a small business owner, I'm sure it's nice to finally work only 40 hours a week, right?
Yes, and I'm taking a great reduction in my hours. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Well, we're talking not just because it's a great and interesting family story. You guys have done really well the last couple years, at least the last couple years financially. Deb had kind of shared with me when I first approached you guys about doing this. Share as much as you're willing to share. What have the revenue and kind of profit numbers looked the last couple years?
You want to go forward?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, we were time and material for many years, and for many years I was looking at a program to do more of a straightforward pricing system that we have now, and it was like when I started my business, I pushed the pencil hard, tried to not deceive myself and what the possibilities are. And when this program came along, I thought it's a winner. It had flexibility built in.
Yeah.
It was like starting a new company. The mindset was totally different than time and material pricing. It was a little scary. We had a successful company at the time, but time and material catches up with you because people accuse you of charging as much as a college professor when they see that they don't understand the costs that are involved and the labor rates that you have to be profitable.
Yeah.
So this kind of covers that with more like component pricing, where everything is priced in and the customer knows the price ahead of time. Yeah. So immediately we saw a great profit jump once we made the transition.
Right.
And it has been more so every year. For a small company, we have maximum, right now we have 2 trucks on the road. We have 2 helpers, and then we have a part-time guy that does gas for us.
Okay.
But we easily jumped over $1 million a year total income.
Yeah.
With about a 35 to 40% net profit. And
pretty good.
We've been doing that consistently for 3 years. Yeah, for 3 years now.
That's
in
amazing.
a row.
And when we came in at time and material, we were at 20% pretty much every year end, which when we came in and when we did our first training day, they said that's the goal they set. So we're starting there. So we did have a profitable business at the time, but we could set our goals higher.
That's great. Well, and not only the goals, it sounds like you guys wanted less headache. With time and material, Amos, as you said, people are always staring at their watches or now their phones. And, and if you got to run and get something because you got that one odd part that they need. And I mean, as a homeowner, I've worked with people like that before, and you just can't help but feel that anxiety. But with the straightforward pricing, it eliminates that. And I'm sure that was a welcome change.
It was a welcome change. And one of the things that kept bothering me was my son is a very fast worker and he has a lot of expertise. So now your best guy is making you the least money on time and material because, and then your slower guy is making you more money, and it's not even fair to the customer that way because the slower guy takes more time. So at the hourly rate, you're charging the customer more for less expertise and not really getting what you should for the best guys in the company.
Yep, that's absolutely right.
So this kind of equalizes all that out.
I love it. No, that's great. Well, I mean, this is a great way to start the interview. It's just a nice sales pitch for CertainPath straightforward pricing. I appreciate it.
I would recommend this to anybody.
Yeah, that's great.
It is a no-brainer.
Yeah. And on the office side, it really eliminated so much repetition. I mean, I was drowning in the office because certain tasks had to basically be duplicated for QuickBooks, for billing purposes, for all these things. And so this eliminated so many excess office hours for us because everything is streamlined. You put everything in CertainPath. It talks to your QuickBooks. We can dispatch from there, everything. And so that really took away the need for me to try to find extra hours to work to get everything done.
Support for this podcast comes from Home Depot Pro Trades. At the Home Depot Pro Trades, our job is helping you do yours. Powered by HD Supply, we are uniquely positioned to help drive your business through unrivaled access to professional-grade plumbing, electrical, and HVAC products, and innovative business solutions such as our Stockwise inventory management program, fully customizable to meet your needs and improve productivity. Our national network of distribution centers and more than 2,200 store locations provide national reach with a local focus, giving unmatched convenience and product availability. We power pros to do more.
You're referencing our software. You guys adopted, how long have you had that adopted in the business?
September 1st of 2019.
Oh, wow. So you guys have been with it for a while. You've grown with it because it's still relatively new. That's great.
Yeah.
What did you guys have before? Was it just like a paper system or did you have something previously?
We used QuickBooks Desktop. And then we kind of found out all at the same time as we were getting integrated with you all that QuickBooks was no longer going to support the contractor version of Desktop, and we needed to move to online. And that was a lot less comprehensive. And so we were able to kind of roll into the online QuickBooks and into your software at the same time and cover all the bases and then actually save time and effort at the same time.
That's great. So you've got less headache in the office and less headache in the field. That's not a bad combination. So. Well, very good. Well, let's take a step back in time. We'll dig more into what you guys do on a day-to-day basis. But I, for people that listen or watch, they know I love learning people's stories and how they got to where they are. And let's see, the story of Fox Plumbing began, I think you said, 1994, Amos?
Yes.
Very good. Why the decision to go into business for yourself rather than just go work for somebody, put your hours in and go home?
Well, I'm kind of an entrepreneurial kind of person over the years. And when I moved to Florida from upstate New York in 1988, I was an apprentice. First of all, I was an apprentice plumber in Pennsylvania in the early 70s.
Okay.
So that started my plumbing career. Then I had another life in upstate New York for a number of years.
Okay.
Moved to Florida in 1988 and worked for a plumbing contractor, and it didn't take me long to catch up to the new codes and the new environment, the new state rules and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't take me long till I was the highest paid plumber in that company.
Okay.
That owner offered me to run the company for him while he kind of semi-retired. And I looked and I contemplated, and I realized that I would fire at least half the guys that were there and start over.
Right.
And I thought, well, if I would do that for him and there's still a profit margin left, there must be some value in starting my own company.
Yeah.
So I got my Florida master's license and then started my own company. And there's a high-end showroom here in Sarasota that the lady who owned it would refer her customers when she sold plumbing fixtures. So the first year, my business was much more profitable than being an employee of the highest paid plumber. So I call myself a spoiled plumber. So I had a nice in to start a company.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of local support. So then we built our network from there.
Yeah.
We don't do any advertising. We depend on our expertise and our clean and professional work ethic.
Yeah.
For other customers to refer us, and also contractors. So we basically run on referrals, and we're so busy we can't keep up. So we have no advertising budget whatsoever and never did.
Wow. I do have to give you credit, though. You saw the insight in going into that fixture store and making that connection. And I mean, there's a lot of people that don't think about that. They just start leaning on family and friends right away. So that helped launch everything. So throughout this, let's see, you met us in 2015. So it's been a number of years. You were on your own. You didn't have, another resource like us. Was it just you taking calls and doing the work, or did you have help in the office? Because, I mean, Deb, you're pretty young. So I don't think you've been doing it for 20-something years.
Well, I'm not that young. You'd be surprised.
Well, when I first started, yes, I was one of the early people with a cell phone. So I would, my cell phone bill was horrendously high, but it was covered well by the work ethic I had. I was able to do that. So I would take calls from my truck. My wife was gracious enough to help me out in the office a little bit. We had a dome book,
yeah,
to do our recording on. I write our stuff in.
We had a Rolodex. We had typed on a typewriter our statements and our receivable, and we had handwritten invoices, and when we had to do friendly reminders, it was all paper at first, and my mom got all the accounting set up, talked to the accountant, got the dome book in order, and then taught me. So he started the company in 94. In early 95, I came into the office because my mom also had a full-time job. So I was a senior in high school at that time.
Okay.
I would come into the office after work and, after school, and put in about 4 hours, so that my mom could train me, and then she could get out of the office and I could start doing it that way. And then in 98, we got a computer. It had to be 98. So in 1998, we got a computer and got QuickBooks.
Sure.
And my mom and my sister-in-law, then future sister-in-law, went to take QuickBooks courses at the local technology school. And so they took some courses, and I was on my way out. I was getting married and moving away. So my sister-in-law then was working with me to take over the office for when I moved away. And so she was the one, her and my mom, that got into QuickBooks. and I helped them transition everything into the computer so that we could build things up on the computer before I got married in 99.
Okay. And so how long have you been back then, Deb?
I was back multiple times. So we kind of, as the family changed and grew, and as we were having our children, we would kind of come back and just kind of took turns handling everything. For a period there, I have a cousin who took over the office when I lived away from here, and my sister-in-law was raising young kids. And then I moved back permanently in September of 2014.
Okay, so it's been almost 9 years. So it's hard to believe that was 9 years ago, but it is. So you've been a steadying force in the office since then. So there's been
she is awesome. We credit her with much of our success. She learned how to relate to the customers and even get them to help themselves if they're willing. She's very knowledgeable in how plumbing works.
Yeah.
And is very efficient in doing our scheduling for us.
Right.
And stuff, so we can, the whole area of success in a business is billable hours. You can't overemphasize billable hours. So we have a huge emphasis on billable hours.
Yep.
And so we try to get as efficient as possible so that the hours can be billed out. I know that like the national average is like 50% of the day is billable. We aim much higher than that. We aim for at least 75%.
Wow, really?
Yes.
So you're not spending a lot of time behind a windshield. You've got probably a pretty close customer base.
We try to organize things so that our time is very efficient. And that's part of our success.
Absolutely it is. That explains the profit for sure. Instead of 20, a third, that's that extra 10% right there at least. So Amos, has it always just been you and one or two other people in the field? Or, I mean, in terms of the field force, how has that evolved over time?
The field force over the years, maximum amount of vehicles we had out is 3 any given time. So between 2 and 3, depending if guys quit and move away, or depending on the workforce, I just never felt like I want to get to the point where I need a job supervisor, to the level where, we need large companies, but I always felt like I just want to operate a smaller company and get as efficient as possible. So between 2 and 3 big crews out at one time, right?
Yeah.
Right now we have 2 crews out with a helper in each vehicle, with the anticipation of getting them into a vehicle and trained enough so they can be out on their own.
That's great. That's good, though. You know what you wanted right away, early on, it sounds like. You wanted a small family business. You didn't want to have, these dreams of 100 trucks. You just I want to make money, which a lot of people don't realize. You don't have to have 100 trucks to make good money, right? You don't. That's just a fallacy.
We kind of zoned in on our strong points. At some point, as a small company, I got a little spread out by doing well work and that kind of thing. So I now sub all the well work out to another contractor, and we didn't do gas until we part-time hired a guy that used to have a company on his own that is a licensed gas professional. So we now do gas piping and have him on as a part-time employee. Okay. And so kind of zone in on our strong points, which is service work and remodel work. That's our strong point. So we kind of zone in on that.
Okay. And now you never... go ahead, Deb.
Oh, I was just going to say, Anthony came on in 95 or 6.
He was still in high school.
I think he was 16. And so he's also obviously state licensed. We run the business under his license now, but So he's been with the company and he never moved away. He never left.
Oh, so he's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got 26, I think he told me the other day, 26 years of experience as a plumber.
And he's a young man, so 26 years of, that's a long time. And it sounds like a go-getter like Dad. He didn't want to sit around. He's like, I got work to do. I got to go. You guys handle the interview.
He's doing a good job.
That's great. That's great. So, I was going to ask, so you never chased new construction. You never had the desire to do the track homes and, chase what a lot of people perceive as big revenue dollars, or did you fall into that trap at some point?
I never fell into that because I saw the downside of that immediately because I didn't want someone else dictating my work schedule or whether or not I could make a profit. And we need those guys too. So I'm not saying anything negative, but they try to get the kind of subs out for a small amount of money as they can. And then typically a lot of them hold money and they kind of rope you into their program where it's hard to get out of that. And the profit margins are low and the work is hard. And I never wanted I want to get paid for my expertise. I'm more expert than that. That reflect who I am as a contractor.
I think that's admirable. You know what you want, and you know what you like. And I've been doing this a long time. I know, like in 08, 09, when the economy really took a big setback, tons of new construction plumbers eventually joined us going, I need to find another way to make a living because I'm $500,000, $1 million in debt because the general contractor went bankrupt.
Yeah, that's correct. We had a lot of that around this area. We kind of joke around the fact that it wasn't a joke. It was actually very detrimental to those of us who were in the service industry and in the remodel industry because those guys came in underpricing everything because they thought it was as easy as new construction and it's much more labor intensive. So they were actually being a real detriment to our established remodel contractors because they couldn't sign contracts because they had too many of these guys coming in and underbidding everything and there was no money left. So there's a lot of bad stuff happened during that time.
Yeah. They didn't understand the importance of value. They go, I'll just do a bunch of smaller jobs, and then it'll add up to the bigger jobs. But soon enough, you go bankrupt that way too. And people learn real quick. Rather try and make a real living than hustle. On the remodel side, so how in depth do you guys do in terms detail what you do on the remodel side for residential?
On the remodel side, our remodel contractors, we do everything. We add footprints to a house where they want to enlarge the footprint of the house and add master suites where they put rooms on top of the garage. The roof comes off and they put either a game room with bathrooms and washing machine, whatever. So it ranges from that to condos where they gut the whole inside of the condo and we repipe the cast iron that's in there and the hot and cold water lines, like a whole, we call it a gut job, where we go in and just redo all the plumbing in there, including new fixtures and everything. We only do the plumbing part of that. We don't do any of the remodel stuff. So we call it our remodels, but we do the plumbing parts of that. And so anything that you can think of that would improve a property or a residence, we are involved.
Now, are you selling those and then you're subbing out the rest of that work to people you rely on, or does a contractor have you come out, they're selling it and they come to you and ask you to do plumbing, and you go on?
Contractors typically come to us. We have our reliable contractors. Yep. Whenever they do a job, they have their team of subs, and we're part of that team of subs. where we go in and we give the contractor a bid. We bid everything.
Yeah.
So we give the contractor our pricing. We typically provide the fixtures and warranty everything for 2 years after the project is done, labor and materials, and kind of sell part of it as a peace of mind thing for 2 years. And so yeah, we have our reliable contractors we depend on.
Right, but you get the margins you want, obviously, where a lot of people that do that work, they're getting beat up by a general contractor saying, well, pennies on the dollar type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I never allow myself to get beat up. I know my value and I know what I want. And if the contractor is not good with that, we tell them we can't do the project. So several contractors over the years have tried other plumbing contractors and realized that our level of expertise is more than they can get most places. Yeah. And they come back and then realize that we are selling value. Yep. It might be a little pricier than some. We don't claim to be the cheapest guy in town.
Right.
But we do claim to give peace of mind and stand behind our work.
Yep. Dependability, right? When you've got you've got a big project you want to get done for a homeowner or whomever, and they just want to get it done. They don't have to wait because the plumber decided not to show up for 2 days.
And they want the reputation that the job is going to be done right. You know, the reputation kind of precedes you a lot of times.
Oh, absolutely.
We have a good reputation in the area. When the plumbing inspectors come out, I shouldn't rat them out, but they sometimes don't really look real close at our plumbing because they know our reputation.
Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. Let's fast. Well, I guess rewind a little bit the clock to you found us in 2015. Was it just you were looking for a different pricing system? Was that the big impetus for joining, or what kind of stimulated that? I'm ready for a change, even though I've got a really successful business.
Well, I needed to increase my price. My margins were too tight. I didn't like the tight margin. So I was looking for, and I knew I couldn't, we were already at $125 an hour.
Yeah.
And people were starting to kick back on that.
Yeah.
And I knew so I needed a better margin. And I think that was probably the driving force that going forward, I wanted to continue to be a successful business, and I couldn't see a way through that on time and material pricing. So over the years, I had gone to meetings and stuff for different programs. And when I found your program, I realized it was flexible. We could enter it at a certain level, and then, we could make some changes as we saw fit and still work with the program. And that helped me to decide to go. But I had been eyeing something for years. I kind of saw it coming that the time material pricing is just going to be obsolete after a while. And in my opinion, anybody that's doing time material pricing is working with an obsolete system.
At the time, SGI was local.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask about that.
We had local support. That was a big one. And it was a little, but everything's fine. Everything worked out.
But getting into it, getting launched, we just felt really good about having the local support, which we did. We got things rolling, and then, but that was nice for us.
That's a feather in the hat. You're like, oh, they're down the street, so I don't like something, I can just show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys came in 2015, so we didn't move very long after that. I know that, Dallas. Well, I'm sorry about that, but I do miss my flights into Tampa and driving, along the beautiful ocean as I coasted into Sarasota. I do miss those, but a few more flight options from St. Louis to Dallas, so that's nice. But but that had to be. I'm sure that was a stunner at the time. But all right, well, very good. So, how did you find us? Did someone call you, or were you actively seeking something, Amos?
Bio. Oh.
Oh, Bio One, really?
Yeah. We were using a product called Bio One.
Sure.
They had a profit day at the location.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
You and I went. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so Deb, you went to it as well.
I did. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
That this needed to be something that was the field and the office.
Yeah.
And then, because in the end, it was up to us to have the whole company on board to see the value and the benefits. And we both did right away. So.
That's great.
And the old man kind of had to pull and tug a little bit because, change is always, you don't know what change brings. And this was a huge change. So there was some trepidation there, but, pushing the numbers and everything, I said, this is something we have to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're really telling the truth because, we work with plenty of people that are going, I'm not making any money. I'm selling a lot, but I'm not keeping a lot. You guys were still keeping quite a bit of money, but you had the foresight to go, hey, this isn't going to be like this forever. We need to be on the Deb, what changed your mind at Profit Day about, okay, I don't know about this, to go, okay, this makes sense?
It didn't take a whole lot. Every single break that day, we were really powwowing and talking because at that time we were very, very busy. And yep. I was struggling to keep up. I was putting in extra hours in the office, trying to find more time. I'm raising a family too.
Right.
And, but this is our family business. So sure. It matters. So we all do whatever it takes. But it was getting really difficult to stay on top of everything. And we could immediately see how many things would be streamlined, just in the office alone, but also between the field and the office. Even something as simple as contacting the customers. That is something we have always, scheduled our day with a first thing with a tight arrival time of 8:30 to 9. Everything after that has a 2-hour window with notice. People yep. love that. Yep. But before this, that meant that I had to drop everything every time any of the trucks was headed somewhere, call the client, tell them we're on the way, what time to expect. And those little things really add up and rob you of so much work time.
Yeah, for sure. So you go, hey, we can get more efficient in all areas of the business. That's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you guys go to Executive Perspective, which is our onboarding conference for people that are non-members listening or watching. And what did you walk out of that? I guess it's almost a full week with what kind of changes? We always kind of say, find 3 things you need to do, right? There's so much you can do, but don't overwhelm yourself. So do you recall early on what were a couple of the core changes? So like, let's do this right away.
Yeah, I think we jumped on it pretty good. I don't know. It's been so long ago.
I know.
Yeah. Was it yeah.
Binder in the office.
Oh, you got the binders. You guys are old school if you got the binder. We always talk, if you want to increase your pricing, right? Change your pricing, you have to add additional value. Were you always in uniforms and had the professional look? Was something you guys had always done?
Yeah,
we did. Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah, we were always pretty professional, and we went with the red shirts eventually.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I had a customer, and I used to change colors on the uniforms. And I had a professional customer that I had some respect for, and we had the red shirts, and I was telling him I'm thinking of changing a certain color and stuff. He goes, no. He said, you guys are the red shirts. You have a reputation when you come in. When we see the red shirts, we know there's a level of expertise there and he said, you can't change that.
Brand, yeah.
So I took his advice on that, and it's been a plus. So we identify quite brightly when we come on a job site, and we carry our reputation in our red shirts. So
yeah, that's great.
There's another he was CEO of a pretty large brand who's a client of ours. And he called the office one time and he said, nobody ever is bold enough to go with red. He said, red is a power color. I hope you guys never change that.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, it is a power color. That's right.
So,
that's right.
And so I think to the beginning of that too, just kind of stepping back a minute, the straightforward pricing, I think, is probably one of the things that we talked about the most. We saw right away how that would alleviate so much of the struggle.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably our number one.
That was number one. And we learned, I know at the classes and stuff, the impression I got was to be pretty formal with that.
Yeah.
We have a lot of long-term customers that did not care for the formal approach to that.
Yeah. You have an existing relationship.
Yeah. So we adopted to that real quickly and started to realize if we have a new customer, we need to be more formal and make sure they know the pricing up front and stuff. We have numerous wealthy existing customers. They don't even want to know anything. Just hand me the invoice and I'll shove you a credit card, So here again, the spoiled plumber comes in, So we do have some of that.
Yeah.
But the program itself, it's a discipline. It's an added discipline to your business to recognize that you have to be conscious about the customer and what makes them comfortable so that they will repeat the business.
Yeah. Did you guys change your guarantees at all? I mean, I'm being in business as long as you had been. I'm sure you've always been, we stand by our work, but now we're putting it on paper, right? And selling that.
Yeah, that was, when we did a sewer line blockage, when we cleared a sewer line, we used to laugh. Well, not laugh, but I mean, it's like the warranty is off as soon as you can't see the taillights, right?
Right.
So when we needed to do a 90-day warranty under this program on clearing blockages, my head's spinning. I said, how can we do this?
Yeah.
And so we did adopt, obviously, that policy. And what it did is made us more thorough. We wanted to make sure that we spend enough of time there that we didn't have to come back on our time to clear. And we still have to occasionally, but it's kind of priced in that we can do that. So that peace of mind in itself is a great thing. I mean, when you clear a blockage and you can tell the customer when you leave, we warranty that for 90 days.
Nobody does that.
Nobody does it. That's
Did you guys use cameras as well with those blockages? Yeah.
Well, we don't always use the camera, but I mean, we have that service available.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't get through the blockage, something else is going down there, so it's time to show the customer. Did you charge for it, or is it included as a throw-in?
That's an additional cost when we bring the camera out, and it's priced that way in our price book.
Yeah.
So
but you win a lot more jobs when you say I guarantee it for 90 days, right? Then.
Oh yeah, and it gives the customer a lot of peace of mind. So,
and I'd argue when you come back, when you do have to come back, they go, well, they stood by their word, right? I didn't have to call them 12 times and they pushed me off for 3 weeks. And, to me, that's a company I want to do business with.
Support for this podcast comes from Moen. As the #1 faucet brand in North America, Moen offers a diverse selection of thoughtfully designed kitchen, bath, and smart water security products, each delivering the best possible combination of meaningful innovation, useful features, and lasting value. Moen strives to be the most durable, reliable, and easy-to-install brand of faucets. Moen leans on pros to help continue to drive consumer innovation, needs, and influence Moen's engagement with consumers in a meaningful way. For more information, visit plumber.moen.com. Dynamic Air Quality Solutions. Since 1982, Dynamic has been the leader in designing, manufacturing, and distributing IAQ products to the commercial and residential markets through authorized HVAC contractors. CertainPath members receive the exclusive value of the Clean Air Defense System private label to drive your brand in the market you serve. Our commitment starts with support. We provide you with world-class industry-leading technical and communication training, face-to-face and online. Become a Clean Air Defense System indoor air quality partner and dominate your market. Visit worldclassiaq.com for more information.
Something that is, we take it for granted in our industry, but I feel like there's so many businesses that still don't do it, is service fees. Did you guys always charge a service fee or a trip charge when you were going to jobs?
Yes, we always did. When we were on time and material, we were doing $120 minimum.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the first half hour, right?
It included the first half hour. If some labor thing needed to be done and then add the materials. But when we started here, we did what, 79 or 89? I think it was 70.
I think 79.
And we started, there's a little complaint thing about 79. And so we dropped it to 59. And nobody ever says anything.
No. And then there was one point when we needed to increase our overall price book. We bumped up to 69 and immediate blowback.
Yeah.
Immediate. So we keep our service fee at 59. We change the rest of the price book to accommodate however we need to, because they don't complain about that. The service fee is the only thing.
Yeah. So we try to get as little, your initial contact, you want that to be good. So we just found out that 59 is a sweet spot for us. I don't know if that applies to everybody or not, but it seems like if we go higher than that, that first contact is not as smooth, or not for everybody. Here, we just about accommodate everybody at the 59.
Yeah. But you did the smart thing. You go, okay, well, we need to generate a certain amount of revenue, so we're just going to build it into the price and make sure we get those jobs, right? So
that's right.
That's very good. Did you guys do much training with us early on outside of going to executive perspective? Did you go to any, back then we called it, I think, Learning Alliance, or has it all been kind of self-taught with the tools that we have online and in the books?
We only did executive perspective and then the service line onboarding.
Yeah.
So terrible.
That's all right.
We want to come, we just don't have the time.
Yeah. You're very small. Yeah.
Really great. So,
Yeah. Do you guys?
I would encourage people to go, but don't do as I say, not as I say.
Do you guys make it to Expo? I don't know. I mean, there's always the 1,200 people. It's hard to say. You guys haven't been to in a while.
No.
Well, come on. You gotta. Next time we're in Florida, I'm gonna drive you. I'm gonna show up at the office.
Okay.
That's okay though. You're getting out of the program what you want, and that's what it matters. You said it earlier. Yeah. We're not a franchise that mandates you do everything. We're an a la carte system. So if you just want to do this, and this, and it works for you guys, then perfect. And obviously, what you guys are doing is working. That's all that matters. How about like club memberships? Is that something you guys have? Is that a big part of your business?
We do.
What do you call it?
We call it. We only do the Diamond Club. We don't do the Lifetime.
That's fine. Yeah.
And we have usually in between 90 and 110 club members at any given time. So we have several now, about 6 or 8 that are on auto annual renewal.
Okay.
The rest of them are, we send out a reminder letter every year, letting them know that their renewal date is coming up. And I would say we probably have about a 98% renewal rate.
that right? Now, will they call? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, please. I'm sorry.
Oh, sometimes they'll move away, and sometimes we'll get new customers who move into the area that join. So that's where the fluctuation comes in. But so we do offer after hours only to them. So as we're a small company, our business phone is an iPhone. And so what I do to make sure that their calls come through is I save the club members as contacts.
Oh, wow.
So they're all saved under club dash their name. That way, when they call, I know it's a club member, and I can make sure that they get service after hours on the weekends, that I can be responsive to them.
Yeah. Wow. So what are some of the other benefits of your club? So you said you after hours. Is there any, I'm sure there's some kind of a discount or what do you guys all offer?
Yes. Their service fee is $49 instead of $59. They have a 10% discount off of every leveled service in the straightforward pricing guide. And they have front of the line service. So anything they have that is urgent or emergency, they will immediately get service, whatever that takes. Sometimes that takes a lot because we're very, very busy and we're booked out. But they are the only ones who have access to that type of responsiveness. So we charge $155.40 for the year. They get a free whole house plumbing inspection every year.
Good. And you said you send that letter out, or do most people call, or are you having to call out behind it to get those?
We don't call out behind it. They do call us back. Yeah.
And you said 98-something%. That's incredible.
Yes.
That's an effective marketing piece. Good for you guys.
We do the same thing for any water filtration system that we install. We have a reminder system in our computer. We send them a reminder letter every year when they're approaching the 12-month mark that they may be due for new water filters.
Yeah. That's fantastic. That's great. I mean, but those club calls are nice to filter in. I guess maybe, I don't know what the seasonality is for you guys in Florida. Maybe it's as snowbirds come and go and you need to backfill some calls. I guess it's nice in that regard.
Yes. We used to have a lull. I would say since 2020, there's no longer much difference at all between season and no season. I know that for at least the first 2 years, 2020 to 2022, and I think it's continued into 23, there is an average of 100 families per day moving into Sarasota.
Just down there visiting some old CertainPath friends. So it's bustling. I mean, I drove by the old office and I could barely recognize it. All the development. Beautiful. It's great, but it makes it a little nice as a business owner for sure. I bet.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Dollars and cents numbers a little bit. Amos, you strike me as someone who's always had some business savvy. There's a lot of guys that we talk to or work with that they're like, hey, money goes in and out of an account, and when it's in there, I'm making money. But, you've talked about net profit early on. You talk about, is that you've always had a good business sense? Was that just something that came with you, or is that something as a young man you learned, or what was that like for you?
I don't know where I learned the business sense, to be honest with you. I wasn't, I didn't go to a business school or anything, but I was always good with numbers. Every morning I open the computer, and not that a lot changes every day on a daily basis, but I go in and just take a look at my net and my numbers and keep that in my head and know that if the numbers start to change one way or another, I need to adapt to it quickly. And I've always stayed very on top of the numbers part.
Yeah. I guess the one nice thing with a program like us is we get a lot of, we get this back from a lot of people that join that are good businesses. They go, I love the part with CertainPath or SGI is you guys have KPIs. I finally have an industry standard to measure my company against. I know what I should be getting on every ticket. I know what I should be. Has that been something that you guys watch closely? What, your average tickets and closing percentages, and you mentioned billable hours. So
yeah, we kind of at our office at the shop, we have a chalkboard there, and we put our gross sales on at the end of every day. We chart our gross sales for each team that's out there.
Yeah.
And then we have a bonus program set up so that a percentage of the gross profit or the gross sales over the certain number, there's a percentage of payout to the techs. So
it's an incentive.
So I think we kind of do more of a larger overview rather than the daily ticket, you know, because we're trying to get past the monthly. We have a monthly number that we're trying to meet for each truck.
Sure.
And then once we meet that, so we're always trying to do it's kind of a larger mentality of being efficient every day. And so some days are much better than others. You know, occasionally we have a day where we're doing warranty work or job site visits or just things that don't show a lot of profit at the end of the day. So we kind of take the larger view, not micro view like some companies like to do. And I'm not saying either one is good or bad.
That's how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. That's great. Let's talk about, well, we're closing in on an hour, and I appreciate your time. This has been a lot of fun. I respect your time, but I want to talk about the future a little bit. You've got 2 helpers, right? Your son's in the truck, obviously, and has been for a while. And your grandson is a helper or apprentice. So what, and Deb, but maybe this is more of a question for you, is, you will. You're not the next generation. You've been the current and the next generation, right? You've been a help. What are you guys hoping to do? You and your brother, are you looking to add more and more trucks? Do you like that you guys are smaller, like your dad kept it?
Anthony definitely likes the smaller company, for sure. We have, his son, and then we have one other apprentice, which is actually a best friend of his son. They graduated high school together and came on together with us.
Yeah.
And so, my understanding is that he would like to keep it at, 2 to 3 trucks. Once Dad retires, maybe him and the 2 boys, is good for him. He likes the way things have been running. And his wife, my sister-in-law, is part-time in the office. She handles all of those reminders and things like those tasks that are not just the daily tasks. So she works in the office to do that with me. And I have a high school age son who's part-time in the office right now, just trying to see if that's a good fit for him for the future as well. So I don't know super long term. I don't know if the next generation will take a hold and want to take the business beyond. But we are at the very least dedicated to getting each other to retirement comfortably.
Yeah, well, you guys keep putting those numbers, you'll be very comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the baseline goal, and beyond that, everything else would be just a bonus if we can keep it moving forward beyond us.
That's great. That's great. You know, what I've always told people about us is our organization is we just want to meet people where their goals are. Whatever you guys want, we want to help you get there. And there's some people that want to conquer the world. More money, there's a saying, more money, more problems, right? So more revenue, more people, more things to watch. And as long as it seems that you guys know what you want, you're doing a great job of it. It's really remarkable. Just kind of like I said, just a few more wrap up questions. And if you guys had to summarize what's SGI CertainPath meant for your company during the last, 5 to 7 years?
It has been a life changer. It has been an absolute life changer. The margin percentages and stuff, and I know it's not all about the money, but I always felt, I want to get paid for our level of expertise. And I feel like we have a high level of expertise, and we work hard. We have a lot of investment, and I basically think we deserve to be well paid. And so we go out there and we get the job done. We do our warranties and give peace of mind to our customers. And so it's been an absolute life changer to be able to create that kind of margin for us and compensate everybody to a comfortable margin. We're all working hard, and so then our bonus structure is a little boost, a little plus every month if we can meet that. So it just works out great. I have nothing but great things to say about our transition to this company.
Yeah.
So you would recommend, I'm sorry, Deb, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I totally agree. I have always loved this job. But just since the transition, I love it even more. It's just something I look forward to every day. And I wish everybody could say that, but, I get so much enjoyment out of what we do and what we provide, and out of our business, together as a family. And so it's just been amazing.
All right, very last question. What general advice might you have to contractors not in the group looking at it, and what advice might you have for, members that are in it? Some things they should do to absolutely get the most out of it.
Well, for us to get the most out of it is, I said times, we want to give our customers, we want them to, when they open the front door, greet them with a smile and have them greet us with a smile. And when we leave, they're still smiling and we're still smiling. And then we can provide that peace of mind that they know we're there for them if something didn't work. Everything is mechanical, so not every time something will work, but they know that if there is a problem, they can give us a call. So to me, it's that kind of integrity that you give to your customers. We stand by our word. We follow up on what we say we do. We provide a level of expertise that they would expect.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the advice. I mean, just have a lot of integrity and give your customers peace of mind.
Very good. Deb, any final words?
I would just say, embrace the program, follow it to the letter, provide those warranties, those guarantees, and like my dad said, do it with a smile. Train your people who are on the phones to be helpful and courteous, and always just let them know that they are the reason you're in business. They are your priority, whoever it is, whatever their complaint is, whatever their personality is. And just follow the program and stand behind everything that you do, because that's what it's built for.
And I must say, we're especially blessed. Deb has a way of, our customers love Deb.
Yeah.
She's the front door to our business, and she represents it well. Yeah. So we're very fortunate. So that's a great end to either keep your business where it is or even to grow your business. We sometimes have to tell customers they need to find another plumbing contractor because we are so overwhelmed. And this is not something we like to do, but we refer a lot of work because we can't get to it. And part of that is because Deb is so good at the entry level of when people fall, they immediately know we have a level of expertise and that we would provide to them. But unfortunately, we don't want to grow our company, so we have to take the other route.
Yeah. Well, I know Denisha loves you. Your coach, that she goes, you have to. Because you have to talk to Deb. She's just the best. And you guys are firing off emails back and forth. And then I emailed you. You were real responsive. So But that I mean it truthfully. Your dad's right. You do a great job on the phone and being responsive.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, something just to summarize. I really admire you guys. Don't say yes to all the work. There's so many people that will just say, "Oh we'll take it on. We'll take it on." And all of a sudden you're working 90 hours, 100 hours. And Amos, instead of kind of easing into retirement a little bit, there's guys that have heart attacks and all sorts of health issues, Yeah. But you guys, I really, in this talk with you the last hour, you guys know what you want. Clear parameters around that. And as a result, you've got a great family business, a great family, and another generation behind you. So it's really remarkable.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for all your time today. I really, really had a blast learning about you and the business. I wish you nothing but continued success. And maybe next time we're in Orlando, I can convince you to get an expo. So that's my goal.
There is a slight possibility.
All right. Very good. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day and take care.
Yes, you too.
Support for this podcast comes from Goodman. There's a good reason why Goodman is one of the biggest names in heating, cooling, and energy-efficient home comfort. The brand has been around for decades, and you'll probably find one of Goodman's nationwide distributors in your neighborhood near you. And since Goodman products are designed, engineered, and assembled in the USA, you can feel good knowing that one of the best values for high-quality HVAC equipment is available where and when you need it. It's no wonder homeowners and local contractors say, "Thank goodness for Goodman." Look for and be sure to follow Goodman on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. The Successful Contractor Podcast is part of the CertainPath family. CertainPath builds successful home service businesses and has for 23 years. We do it by providing contractors with a proven path to success, professional coaching, software solutions, and a member community of over 1,000 contractors just like you. Doubling your sales with a 20% net profit and an inspiring company culture is all possible. Let us show you the way. With CertainPath, success is made certain. Visit www.mycertainpath.com for more information.